You know, friends, if Donald Trump is posting something, there's a good chance he's confessing to something. Let's have a look at Donald Trump's most recent, potentially incriminating post. Because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, if Donald Trump's lips are moving, odds are he may be incriminating himself. When Donald Trump posts something, there is always a good chance he's confessing to something, and he's gone and done it again in a new post. Of course, that should come as no surprise, given Donald Trump's past confessions in some of his social media posts. Remember these little ditties? This Donald Trump incriminating hit parade? This from CNN regarding stealing the election. Headline, Trump to DOJ, just say that the election was corrupt and leave the rest to me. And that article begins, former President Donald Trump pressured Acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen to declare that the election was corrupt in an attempt to help Republican members of Congress try to overturn the election result, according to notes of a December 2020 call Trump held with Rosen and Acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Donoghue. During the December 27, 2020 call, Trump pressured Rosen and Donoghue to falsely declare the election illegal and corrupt, even after the Justice Department had not uncovered any evidence of widespread voter fraud. This from Trump, quote, just say the election was corrupt and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressman, Trump said on the call according to Donoghue's notes. Or how about this little Donald ditty about stealing classified documents? This from Just Security. When asked why he took government documents from the White House, Trump answered, I was there. I took what I took. I had every right to do it. I didn't make a secret of it. You know, the boxes were stationed outside of the White House. With those fateful words, Trump admitted that he was involved in willfully removing the documents from the White House. It's a federal crime to willfully and unlawfully remove any document in any public office of the United States. And, not surprisingly, friends, Trump has done it again. Here's his new post. A president of the United States must have full immunity, without which it would be impossible for him or her to properly function. Any mistake, even if well-intended, would be met with almost certain indictment by the opposing party at term end. Even events that, quote, cross the line, close quote, must fall under total immunity, or it will be years of trauma trying to determine good from bad. So friends, that's what I'd refer to as a tacit admission or an implied admission, but you really don't have to read between the lines. This is Donald Trump demanding immunity for himself, since when is he ever concerned about what happens to others? Other presidents, for example. He wants immunity for himself even when events cross the line, right? Even if Donald Trump is admitting that, yeah, you know, maybe I stepped my toe over the criminal line, you know, minor violation of some of our nation's laws. You know, what's a little light felony between friends? I'm entitled to total immunity. I'm entitled to be permitted to commit these crimes. These crimes must be tolerated. These crimes must be excused. Total immunity. Now, this admission is not quite as strong, not quite as direct, not quite as compelling as him telling his DOJ officials, I don't care if there was no fraud in the election, just say there was, and leave the rest to me and my Republican allies in Congress. That's conclusive proof of Donald Trump's criminal intent, his guilty state of mind, his corrupt mens rea. And this admission is probably not as directly incriminating as when he admitted he committed the crime of taking and unlawfully retaining classified documents from the United States government. But still, this one ain't half bad. You know, if I were a prosecutor, I would probably take a government exhibit sticker, go ahead and slap it on Donald Trump's latest admission and maybe keep it in my back pocket. I'd be prepared to introduce it into evidence at one or more of Donald Trump's criminal trials. Not that Jack Smith needs it. Jack Smith, special counsel prosecuting Donald Trump, doesn't really need any more confessions from Trump, any more incriminating statements, any more admissions against interest. He has more than enough. He has evidence that will prove well beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump committed the crimes with which he's been charged, for which he stands indicted. But it doesn't look like Donald Trump is going to stop providing confessions, admissions, incriminating statements to Jack Smith anytime soon. And trust me, friends, Jack Smith's team of federal prosecutors is cataloging every word, every sentence, every post, because Donald Trump can't help himself. He keeps incriminating himself day after day after day, and Jack Smith and his team will be able to pick and choose the most directly, the most sharply incriminating statements, the most directly relevant evidence to present to the jury to prove Donald Trump's guilt. And Donald Trump's guilt will be proved. We need to get into trial sooner rather than later. We're burning democracy daylight. November 2024 is approaching, and as I've said before, in the horrific event Donald Trump is the nominee, the Republican nominee, a man who is facing 91 felony charges, well, the American voters have every right to know whether they're casting their ballot for a convicted felon or a completely innocent man who has been found not guilty by a jury of his peers, fully exonerated on all charges. Yeah, that ain't happening. But we need to get these cases to trial. We need to get them to trial promptly, so our right to a fair and speedy trial, not just the defendant's right, our right to a fair trial, a timely trial, is honored. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.